I'm so glad we're doing this instead of the podcast.
Yeah.
This is...
Praise the Lord. Jesus, fucking shattered. Yeah, rock and roll.
Go! Hello, and thank you for joining us on The Rich Cats. My name is Boda Newman,
I'm Ireland.
I'm Devin.
and this is The Rich Cats.
Woo!
Don't know what the
Yay.
fuck I'm supposed to say.
Redundancy. Woo!
Let's go. Speaking of redundancy, Devin, want to talk about your games?
Oh, fucking...
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that was a real smooth transition, but I've been speedrunning Portal because holy fucking shit, I cannot stop playing that game. And holy fuck, dude, I'm surprised at like how well that game is built for speedrunning. Because there's certain things that I've been looking at, like at the last section, or the last section of the first part of the game where you first escape. There's like all these white walls that are going down that one hallway leading into the fire, and it kind of like, I was thinking about it for a minute, and I was like, well, this is kind of like weird, because there's like no way that you can get portals over here, so why the fuck would you put white spaces? But then on a different level, I realized there's all these fucking white spaces because there's different ways to go about the level that you didn't see before. Which is really interesting. There's a few test chambers that that you can cut them off. There's one test chamber you can do in less than 10 seconds because it's just like right at the beginning there's a fucking, you turn around, portal, and then fucking run through, and it's like, it's over. It's like, holy shit, it's a level that usually takes like 5 minutes.
I've been
Such a beautiful
practicing speedrunning the fucking Outlast 2, or just Outlast.
The first one?
Yeah, you can fucking bullshit it in like 11, 12 minutes, even though it's like a 5-hour game.
Right.
You just hop over the wall when you're outside of the mansion, because there's a brick wall on the right. You just hop over it and you fall through the fucking level all the way to the basement and the very end of the game. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go.
Can you imagine just dropping through the floor at the very last moments of the fucking
Yeah,
game?
that's what it is.
Right there.
You see Billy fucking being killed, the big
Yeah.
fucking guy. Just almost immediately, like, you drop in and then you walk a couple of feet and then he gets mutilated by the Ghost Rider. Finally found you, little piggy. I'm like, who are you?
What? I haven't played that game, seen anything on that game at all.
So, there's this big fucking crazy dude, like really big. His ult bit is that he rips people's head off because he's not just strong.
Mm-hmm.
And then he chases you throughout the entirety of the game. And at the very end of it, he gets picked up by there's a guy named Ghost Rider. He's in like a vac tube, and a sane asylum was doing like experiments and shit on like consciousness or dream states or whatever. And so he was able to like control like a ghost form of himself. It's crazy shit. But he picks the big guy up and shoves him through a fucking air vent and just completely mutilates him, and he dies instantly. And so that's the very finale of the game. So you can just skip the entire game.
Oh.
It's very funny. And then to go at the very end of the game, you have to like parkour off of some railings to jump down a bunch of floors.
Yeah.
And then you can just jump over a giant chasm.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and then you walk a couple feet, and then you get shot by the SWAT team that busts in. That's the end of the game. You can do it in like 12 minutes.
That's cool.
It's
It's
silly as
weird
shit.
the strategies that people have found to beat these games, like the process that people go through. Like, how the fuck do you find these bugs? Like,
You
some
fuck around in one spot
Especially-
to find some.
What especially is weird is like the Zelda runs. You know,
Yeah.
like Ocarina of Time and shit, where it's just like the most inane bullshit ever. Like, you stand in this one specific spot and then press the up arrow like 5 times, and then you move to this other specific spot, and it's like
How did you
manipulating the
find this
save
out?
states and shit through your actions in the game. It's like, holy shit! How do you think of a
One
game
of my
like
favorites
that?
is the Mario back jump. where
Yeah,
you can go,
that.
Oh, the
Oh, yeah,
backwards
yeah,
long
yeah.
jump.
The one where the computer beats the game in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only way you can do that is if you're a
Because
computer.
you get so much fucking momentum that you go through the wall and into Bowser's final boss stage.
The problem with that's the reason that nobody can do the task run is because you have to it's kind of like with the original Mario Bros, where in order to beat the task you have to press down the left and right at the same time. There's just so many inputs that you have to put at the exact same, like on the same frame, in order to get Mario to land exactly where he's supposed to, because it's like a 1 pixel spot where he can land and go into that door that's underneath the moat. It's just fucking crazy. There's like hour-long explanations on how it works. It's insane.
Another one that I find very silly is speedrunning for Doom Eternal. Because apparently the speedrunning community has like set rules, even though there's no like official club to it. Everyone has like agreements of rules on a certain game for speedrunning. And so one of them is if you're on a ledge and you go to your weapon wheel, it slows down time. So what they found out was that if you're on a ledge and then you purposely slip by like an inch off the ledge and then you go pull up your thing, if you flick the shit out of your scroll wheel, for some reason it flies you like a cajillion feet straight up in the air, and then you can fly across the entire map all the way to the end.
Those are fucking amazing. I love him. People found that so quickly too.
Like,
people are already. The game wasn't.
You
even...
can have one of those scroll wheels that don't stop.
Yeah.
So I have one of those. Yeah.
So that's what they all had to agree on the debate between if that should be a thing. Is that scroll wheel? Because you have to get a certain modification for it.
Yeah, because what happens is you bind your. I think it was you bind your jump to the scroll wheel, and then that slowdown lets you put in a whole bunch of inputs. So if you're using a scroll wheel,
the jump.
You just fucking keep going on it, and you'll watch him. He'll go like as soon as he goes in, you'll see him go. Woo.
Oh yeah, there's some like FPSs that are like that where you set shooting to the scroll wheel and you just scroll and you fire like with a semi-automatic gun with like 30 bullets in a second.
Yeah, it's a weird little bug in some of those shooters, but it's cool.
So funny.
It makes for some really funny shit.
I want to see speedrunning in like VR games. I think that would be very funny.
Are there any speed
jumps? I don't know. I haven't looked it up. I think that would be funny though.
I think like Super Hot would be a really fun.
Yeah, that would be pretty.
That'd be a cool.
I've seen a lot of people like really fucking run through that.
That's the
but not like game breaking, just doing the game really fucking good.
That's one of the main games I wanted to play in VR was Super Hot. It just looked like a super fun game.
It is.
It is.
Insanely
it's
fun.
so amazing.
But you guys have it?
He does. I don't have it.
Oh.
I played the shit out of it in VR from him.
Yeah, it comes with the Quest. You can buy it.
I might play it later. Whew.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I've seen I saw videos of it before it was like an actual like game that you could buy on Steam and shit. I saw it when it was an EXE that you downloaded off the internet or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like,
Make
that game
really
looked
cryptic
amazing.
It is.
Mm-hmm. It is. It was made for VR. It's so crazy. I don't think that was ever the intention to put it on VR because it didn't come out on PC.
It came out on PC.
It came out on the computer like as an EXE off of the internet, and it just slowly just blew up.
Yeah, it like blew up at the same time that the Oculus or not the Quest, but it was
Rift.
Yeah, the Rift. It was blowing up kind of the same time that the Rift was. It was like. That's just such good timing.
One of my favorite bits about that game is that it's actually the demo for the VR. It's actually a completely separate game. So it's its own entire story. The demo itself is completely separate from the game.
I've seen that.
Itself.
You showed me that, didn't you?
Yeah, because it's like from the other perspective point of view. Because they're the demo and the actual game are from opposite point of views. Like one's working for the agency and the other's like the
Gotcha.
Anarchy, whatever fucking group it is. That's very funny.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's such a. It's weird. It's. I don't know. How would you speedrun that in VR? Like, could you find any like?
I would argue the point that if you know the exact timing of where people come out, because it's almost in the campaign, they all come out the same place.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming like if you get a gun, you like shoot here, shoot there, and then here, and by the time the bullets reach to those points. They come out and then instantaneously die.
There are some points where you can do that. There's like I think it's like level 2 or it's like level 2. So you get like the first trio of levels and then it's the next ones. But in one of them you have the opportunity to basically you get these 2 Uzis and you can go in either direction. Like if you were good enough at the game, you could point them in both directions and take out these 2 and the guy over there at the same time.
It's so good in VR.
My favorite looking video or level in that game was the one where you're in an elevator and there's like just 4 guys right next to you,
Yes.
and they're all about to shoot you. And you have to like duck and avoid and everything. On the computer, it was like super hard because they all shot, so you had to move perfectly in each direction and like bop each one.
My favorite is it's not any level. I just like beating the shit out of people in slow motion, or like you take a glass and you just throw it.
Yeah.
And they go. Just shatters on them, and they die.
Yeah, with that game, I was doing the like arena or arcade version or whatever.
Survival mode.
Yeah, that survival where you're trying to get to like a certain number, but it's endless.
Yeah.
I love that one too. I've beaten a couple of those levels, but it gets fucking hard.
Yeah.
You start sweating your ass off. It is such an active game.
Oh, my dad started playing because he just came to visit a couple days ago. I think Friday, and he got into Beat Saber.
Yeah.
Because the last time he ever played VR was back in like 15 years ago, like 20, like when almost like very very early.
Holy shit.
VRs, and it was a pirate shooting game. Like he was on a pirate ship, and so he had to use cannons and stuff. It was at a bar. It was like almost like an arcade thing, and then that was the only time he's ever played it. And so I showed him my Quest 2, and he's playing Beat Saber because he's like an almost 60-year-old guy, and so he's like, "This is one of the funnest fucking things I've ever had in my existence. This is amazing." I'm like, "You can play that all the fucking time you want." And so the problem is I'm trying to like tell him where to navigate through the game because I can't see because it's a VR game. And so whenever he's off, I pulled up a screenshot of the game to tell him where to find the new songs and shit, how to change it differently and modify the game. And so he just like he plays everything on easy, and it's like he'll play like 3 games and he's like fucking just sweating. He's like, "Dude, I got to get one of these." I'm like, that's one of the cheapest ones too. It's like $250 or $300.
Yeah, they're surprisingly cheap now. That's what I've always been waiting for with VR, was for it to get like cheap and for it to be like a standalone set. Because I remember with the Rift, you had to like set up the cameras in each room, or you had to set them up in the corners of your room, and you had to like have like a perfect dedicated space, and you still had to have the good computer and everything to do basically everything.
Corded, which I fucking hate more than anything.
The cords were annoying. The PS4 was probably the best one that I had seen of that corded version, but most of the games kind of, they were cool. There was one game that almost made me throw up. That fucking on the PlayStation, it was the one where you're on this big four-legged robot, and you're jumping from fucking asteroid to asteroid. You're just flipping around, and for somebody who never played VR before, it's like, holy fuck! You feel like your world is turning on you.
I never got to play that one. Yeah, I played that one a lot, and then eventually, just at some point at the end of one of the simple like PlayStation games, like you got to the end and you went down a slide and it went really fast, and just like the FOV change just completely threw me off. And I was like, oh, and I just took it. I was like, I'm gonna vomit. It just like sped up really quickly going down a slide. It was like, oh.
When my dad tried it for the first time, we got this roller coaster simulator for him, and for somebody
standing up?
for somebody in his 50s
like
who's never seen VR before, never even thought it was possible, he throws it on. You see him sitting in the chair, and as soon as it goes over the first thing, he goes, "Holy shit!" He's just he's trying to move with it, and he's just freaking out on it. He thought it was the greatest thing ever.
I want to get into like flight sims. That's what I really want. Like, fucking really mouth-watering shit. Being like World War II planes and shit, or like tank games. What was it? Some fucking like FPS VR game. They just it was a very small game. It was like a Spec Ops little fucking PvP game. They had just attached like a Call of Duty zombies kind of shit, and so it's modded. It has a community workshop and everything.
Okay.
So you can have like up to 8 fucking people, and just like. What was it? No, not even 18. I think it's like 16 players that can have in survival for zombie waves and shit.
Right.
So you can have like squads and like take different points of the map to defend each other, or like my favorite that I've seen is that they'll have like 8 people crouched and then 8 people standing up, and they'll have like a gun line. And then they just added their biggest update was like a World War II setting. And so you can actually drive like a Panzer IV and then a fucking T-34 tanks. So you have like 3 people, one a machine gunner, the driver, and then a tank or a turret operator. And so they have instructions inside because you have to like traverse the turret, and then you have to load the shell, and then you have to lock it in, and then you gotta have the lever, and then fucking, it's so cool. Yeah.
It's